Hey everyone, and welcome. Get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into something that sounds almost too good to be true. Slowing down aging.
Sounds interesting.
Right. So it all started when I came across this article on talknaturalhealth.com about a supplement. It's called GenuinePurity Liposomal Spermidine.
Okay.
And they're saying it can actually help slow down the aging process. They're even offering a promo code for our listeners.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll share that later. But first, let's talk about this whole spermidine thing. Apparently, it's supposed to help your cells clean themselves up, literally, like a cellular cleaning crew, through a process called autophagy. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, autophagy is super interesting. It's essentially a cellular recycling system.
Okay, so like a garbage disposal for our cells.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Your cells are like rooms, right? And over time, they get cluttered with junk. Damaged cell parts, waste products, all that stuff. Autophagy is the process that cleans all that out.
So it's like giving our cells their own little vacuum cleaners.
Pretty much. And just like a clean room feels more spacious and functional, autophagy helps keep our cells healthy and running smoothly.
That makes so much sense. So where does spermidine fit into all of this? Is that like the cleaning solution or something?
That's a great analogy. Spermidine is actually a compound that's naturally found in our bodies, and it plays a key role in jump-starting that autophagy process. It's like the switch that turns on the vacuum cleaner, you could say.
Oh, okay. So if it's already in our bodies, why do we need a supplement? Do our bodies just stop making it?
Well, you see, as we get older, our natural spermidine levels start to decline.
Ah, I see. And that means our cells might not be as efficient at cleaning house anymore. And that's where the idea of supplementing with spermidine comes in to kind of top up those declining levels and help our cells stay in tip-top shape.
Wow, that's really interesting. But it makes me wonder, how do we even know if our cells need this cleaning boost? Like, is there a test or something?
That's a great question, and unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as getting your cholesterol checked. At least not yet. Scientists are still working on accurate and easy ways to measure spermidine levels in our bodies.
Okay, so testing isn't really an option for now.
Not at this moment.
But let's get back to the supplement for a second. The article I saw mentioned that it's liposomal.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I have no idea what that means. Is it, like, important?
Yeah, it can be a bit of a scientific jargon, right? Basically, liposomal encapsulation, it's a way of protecting the spermidine molecule, kind of like a shield. So it can survive the journey through your digestive system and get absorbed into your bloodstream more effectively.
Oh, so it's like a delivery system for the spermidine.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You wouldn't send a fragile package through the mail without proper packaging, would you?
That's true.
Liposomal encapsulation is like that packaging for spermidine, making sure that it gets where it needs to go safely.
That's actually really clever. Okay, but let's get to what everyone's really wondering about. All those big claims about the benefits. They're talking about a longer lifespan, better heart health, even a sharper brain. That's a lot to promise. Is there any actual science behind this, or is it just hype?
You're right to be skeptical. It does sound almost too good to be true. Like with a lot of things in health and science, it's not a simple yes or no answer. There's definitely growing excitement around spermidine, but it's important to look at these claims carefully.
Okay, so let's break it down then. What does the research actually say about spermidine and its potential to, well, make us live longer? Okay, so we're back, and I have to admit, I'm really curious about this whole longevity thing. Is there actually any truth to spermidine being a fountain of youth?
Well, it's definitely not as simple as that. There have been some studies, and they've shown that spermidine can actually increase the lifespan of certain organisms.
Really? Like what, lab rats?
Even smaller. We're talking yeast, worms, even flies.
Wow. So it works on them. But does that mean it will work for humans?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And unfortunately, we don't have a definitive answer yet. You see, there's a big difference between studying something in a lab setting and seeing how it plays out in real life, in humans.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is we can't just start taking spermidine and expect to live to 150.
Exactly. While the research is promising, it's important to remember that those were animal studies. We need more research, particularly long-term studies on humans, to really understand how spermidine affects aging in people.
Makes sense. Okay, so what about those other claims then? What about spermidine's potential benefits for heart health and brain health? What does the research say about those?
Now, that's where things get really interesting. There are some promising findings, but we definitely need more research, especially larger, longer-term studies in humans.
Of course.
But some studies have suggested that spermidine might actually help protect against heart disease.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, it seems like it might improve the way our blood vessels work and might even reduce inflammation, which is a big risk factor for heart problems.
So it's like giving your blood vessels a little tune-up.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. There's also research looking into spermidine and brain health.
Oh, now this is what I want to hear about. Anything that can help keep my brain sharp as I get older.
Right. Who doesn't? Some studies suggest that spermidine could help protect our brain cells from damage, which could potentially lower the risk of cognitive decline as we age.
Okay, so potentially good for the heart, potentially good for the brain. It's like spermidine is trying to be a multitasking superhero. But I think it's really important to emphasize what you said before. We need more research, especially in humans, before we can make any definitive claims. Right?
Absolutely. We can't just jump to conclusions based on a few promising studies. It's important to be cautious and to keep in mind that what works in a lab setting or a small group of people doesn't always translate to everyone.
Exactly. But still, it's pretty exciting stuff. This whole deep dive has definitely got me thinking about aging in a whole new way. And it really highlights the importance of staying informed and being critical of any big health claims we come across.
I totally agree.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits, but what about getting spermidine naturally? If it's found in food, can we just eat our way to a longer, healthier life? Or do we really need a supplement?
That is the million-dollar question.
So we're back, and I'm really curious about this whole food versus supplement thing. If spermidine is found naturally in food, can we just eat our way to higher levels?
Well, it's not quite as simple as just loading up on certain foods.
Right, there's no magic spermidine berry we can just snack on.
Exactly. But you're right, spermidine is found naturally in a lot of foods we eat every day.
Okay, so like what? Give us the spermidine grocery list.
Well, we talked about wheat germ, soybeans, and aged cheese earlier. Those are good sources. But you can also find spermidine in things like mushrooms, shiitake and reishi mushrooms especially.
Mushrooms. I knew there was a reason I loved those.
And don't forget legumes, chickpeas, lentils, things like that. Oh, and fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi. They're good sources too.
Okay, so we're talking about a pretty diverse group of foods here. Not exactly a restrictive diet.
Exactly. And that's a good thing, right? A varied and balanced diet is always important. But if you're looking to up your spermidine intake, those are some good places to start.
Makes sense. But is there a specific amount of spermidine we should be aiming for? Like how much is enough?
That's a tricky question. Unfortunately, there aren't really established daily recommendations for spermidine like there are for, say, vitamins.
Okay, so no spermidine daily value on our nutritional labels just yet.
Not yet. But I think the key takeaway here is that incorporating a variety of these spermidine-rich foods into your diet can be beneficial.
So it's more about making sustainable changes to our eating habits rather than chasing a specific number.
Exactly. It's about the bigger picture of how we nourish our bodies and support those cellular processes that keep us healthy as we age.
This has been a fascinating deep dive. Spermidine, autophagy, cellular cleaning crews. It's amazing how much is going on inside our bodies that we don't even realize.
It really is.
So much of what we've talked about today ties back to that idea of taking a proactive approach to our health, whether it's through the foods we choose to eat, the supplements we decide to try, or just by staying curious and informed about the latest scientific discoveries.
I couldn't agree more.
And for those of you who are intrigued by GenuinePurity liposomal spermidine and want to learn more, don't forget to check out topnaturalhealth.com and take advantage of that promo code we mentioned.
It's definitely worth exploring.
And for everyone, whether you're Team Spermidine or still on the fence, remember, knowledge is power. Do your research, talk to your healthcare provider, and make the choices that are right for you. And most importantly, stay curious. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of spermidine and autophagy. Until next time, stay healthy out there.